Cyclone Yasi has now wiped out the Bureau of Meteorology's Willis Island radar station, 400 kilometres from the coastline. It was built to withstand Category 5 storms. It's on track to hit land at around 10 o'clock tonight, with winds of nearly 300 kilometres an hour. For residents, it's now a matter of sitting back and watching Mother Nature at its most ferocious. It'll seem the longest wait of their lives. Lynn Keep, ABC News.
Let's go to reporter Joe O'Brien, who's at an evacuation centre in the Earlville shopping mall in Cairns. So, Joe, just describe the scene there for us.
Well, Ros, I kind of feel like keeping my voice down a bit because since I've been here, this is the first public announcement that we've heard over the shopping centre. PA, the Red Cross announcing something, just giving people the details there. But just to put you in the picture, imagine coming down an escalator into your local shopping centre, or your biggest local shopping centre, your mall, coming down the escalator and seeing virtually every square centimetre covered with people lying down, little babies lying down, people taking every seat at every table in the food court. You walk along down one corridor towards a menswear shop and there's just people everywhere. You've got to tiptoe through these people to move anywhere. It's just this sea of humanity, all these people brought together by this crisis to wait it out here in the Earlville shopping centre. We're just to the south of the Cairns CBD.
Joe, how are people coping? Because, of course, they're likely to be there for some time.
Yeah, well, it's a funny thing that it seems like every kid's got some sort of electronic game, just sitting down, playing furiously with the parents looking around kind of vaguely. A little boy just threw a paper plane across the group. Yeah, there's a pretty good atmosphere here, but people are pretty anxious. I'm standing against a glass door, which is one of the only kind of views out, and there was a heavy rainstorm came through just before. That's the first reasonable rainfall we've had, but once again now it's stopped. It's virtually still and there's no rain. But right by now there should be no people on the streets. Earlier the Cairns Mayor Val Shear was talking about the need for people to stay inside their homes or get to evacuation centres.
I'm suggesting very seriously now that if people have not moved towards an evacuation centre, they stay at home. We gave the very clear message that people should not move after 8 a.m. this morning because the winds are picking up. People should not be on the roads. We are looking at opening one other centre and we will attract people, we'll bus people to that centre, but we don't want any more people leaving home at this stage.
So, Joe, the time for talk and action is over. It's just a case of hunkering down and hoping for the best. Do you know if the evacuation centre you're in is one of those that is cyclone-proof?
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one because this was kind of added towards the end, but there was 6 to begin with, and 4 of them weren't cyclone rated, is how they were referred to. So, but the authorities were saying to people, look, you're not guaranteed your safety if you come to these evacuation centres, but it's being offered because it's the best we can do in this situation. And yeah, it's a really strange feeling here, Ros. There's a lot of anticipation about the night ahead, and it feels even like in a shopping centre like this, we're going to be hearing the roar of Yasi through the night.
Joe, stay safe. We'll be thinking of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ros.
Reporter Paul Lockyer has been on the coast south of Cairns, just near Innisfail. It's one of the communities that would be badly affected by any storm surge.
Already the sea is becoming angry, but it's nothing compared to what will happen later today when the cyclone actually strikes. And places like this, dotted along the coastline, will be seriously at risk because all these factors will come together at once to form the perfect storm, and that is gale force winds, the strength of which has never been seen before along this coastline. That will bring a storm surge of immense height, that combined with a high tide. And there are huge low-lying areas between Townsville and Cairns that could become inundated. Homes like this have already been barricaded and sandbagged. They've been through cyclones before, but they've never seen a cyclone like this. And there is 1,000 kilometres of Queensland coastline that is at risk from this huge cyclone. And it's not just here, but if you think about it, this cyclone is so big that there's a cyclone watch for the next 48 hours over much of the northern half of the state. And this is a state that's already seen its biggest flood in history, and it's going to see more flooding, with falls of 200 to 400 millimetres of rain right through northern Queensland. And on top of that, they're facing the biggest cyclone in generations. And spare a thought for the community of Innisfail, just up the road from here, just up the coastline from here. They were virtually wiped off the map by Cyclone Larry in 2006. They didn't think they'd ever see a cyclone of that strength again in their lifetime. Well, now they're battening down the hatches because they're seeing an even bigger one, and it's bearing down on them again.
Poor Lockyer there. Australia is no stranger to severe tropical cyclones. The most deadly was Mahina, which struck Cape York, killing 410 people back in 1899. Today, a cyclone severity is ranked from categories 1 to 5. So what does that mean? Nicole Chettle explains.
The measure of a cyclone's fury is in its wind speed and potential for destruction. A Category 1 causes only minimal damage to homes and property. The next level up has wind gusts reaching 170 kilometres an hour, causing minor building damage, and it has the potential to ruin crops. Category 3 packs powerful winds of up to 225 kilometres an hour. In 1986, Cyclone Winifred hit Queensland near Innisfail, wrecking homes in its path. And Monty drenched Western Australia's Pilbara in 2004, causing widespread flooding. Australia's most infamous cyclone, Tracy, lashed Darwin on Christmas Eve in 1974. The Category 4 cyclone flattened the capital, killing 71 people and causing millions of dollars damage. And Queensland was left reeling when Cyclone Larry ripped past Innisfail in 2006. It caused a big storm surge, flooding, and left $1 billion trail of destruction.
What's the most terrifying thing about a cyclone?
The thought of losing yourself and everything that you've ever worked hard for.
Everyone says we're well, no one got killed. We're all looking forward to hopefully being able to survive again.
And the most powerful cyclones are the potentially deadly Category 5. Cyclone Yasi could be the biggest system to batter the Queensland coast. More violent than Tracy, bigger than Larry, this disaster in the making has authorities urging residents to take every precaution to save lives. Nicole Chettle, ABC News.